State, but was able to put them away in the second half to earn themselves a bid here. The winner here is going to move on to the National Championship Series and move into the semifinal round and play the winner of Louisiana State University and Illinois University. And that game is coming out of the West. So we're here 2 minutes in. All right here. So far we've seen Eau Claire on attack here. Eau Claire is a very disciplined, well-coached team coming out of the Great Waters Conference. University of Cincinnati is a very tough team coming out of the Ohio Valley Conference. Both of these teams are conference champions, playing against each other today. Our center referee is Caroline Walters, donning our new referee kit from our partners over at Rhino Rugby. Thank you, Rhino Rugby, for providing the referee kit, the match balls, and our other field equipment that we use for all of our championship series. Eau Claire has been on attack, but they've been mostly moving backwards. The Cincinnati defense has been ready for them. Eau Claire looking to move it wide, but unfortunately unable to connect there in the back line. And so we're going to have our first scrum of the day here. If you're tuning in again, we've had two other championship matches today. Our first of the day saw Notre Dame College, and they will be advancing to the Division I National Championship to again face off with the University of Michigan after their win over the University of Illinois. We have a scrum penalty on Cincinnati. The ball will go back to Eau Claire. To keep it in Cincinnati here, kind of with their first possession. Let's see if they can do anything here with it. Cincinnati, very physical ball carriers. They're running right into the Blue Golds. Cincinnati now is looking for some space. Very speedy on the 14, but I think I noticed it. If I noticed it, then Caroline Walters definitely noticed it, and that was just a touch forward pass moving to the wing. So we're going to have a scrum down to Eau Claire. Put into Eau Claire. Going for the 8-man pick. A little clumsy, but very aggressive backline defense coming in from Cincinnati. Forcing a knock-on, so we're going to have another scrum here to Cincinnati. 7 minutes in, both teams just feeling each other out. No points on the board yet. All right, we have great tackle from the Cincinnati number 8, was a huge contributor to them in their victory yesterday. Nice little pop off the ground by the Cincinnati wing. Little slow to get up, but I think we're up. Cincinnati again tacking here in the mid channel. Cincinnati is moving the ball quickly again out to their wings, who have shown already that they definitely have some speed. Ball was taken into touch. It's actually pushed into touch by Cincinnati, so this is going to be an Eau Claire lineout. Short lineout by Cincinnati. Immediate pressure put on by Cincinnati. Kick out. Best case scenario for Eau Claire. Not fielded cleanly by Cincinnati. They knock it out. So it's going to be, this will be an Eau Claire lineout. Here, very close to midfield. Cincinnati stolen in the air. So we got the Bearcats back on attack. Do a little bit of pick and go here. I think that ball might be... Eau Claire was looking to counter ruck. Unable to do so. So we're going to set a scrum here. We have some communication from the sideline. I think we had a player out of frame who was down, but they seem to be back in now. So all is well. So we're going to have a scrum down here to Cincinnati. All right, moving it out. Nice little cut back inside by the number 12 here. Little bit of a misconnect. Great cover tackle, 14, wrapping her arms all the way around the Cincinnati wing, so she's unable to offload, which has been a big part of their game so far. Moving it all the way to the outside. Cincinnati is so close, looking to put the first try on the board today. Hanging out right at the 5. Oh, that ball was lost forward in contact, picked up by the Blue Golds. They're going to kick to exit and into touch. A lot of pressure from the Bearcats, unable to turn that into a try, though. All right, we're going to have a throw in here to Cincinnati. Overthrow and recovered by Eau Claire. Nice heads up play. And now Eau Claire is moving it back out. Need a little run, go forward. Unable to get the offload off. Cincinnati got into that passing lane. Cincinnati defense is really strong, holding not only they did just commit a penalty, but they are very successfully creating a defensive wall, and they are not letting a lot of Eau Claire players to get through. So that was a penalty for not rolling away in the ruck. So we're going to kick for touch again, moving the ball forward for Eau Claire. We're going to set up another line out, which hasn't really been a consistent platform for either team so far. So we're going to see how this one goes. We've already had a few. That ball is in, not fielded cleanly, but Eau Claire is able to get it out. Lots of pressure from a fast defensive launch. That throw-in was not straight. Yep. Oh, calling that a forward pass. Have a scrum penalty on Cincinnati for pulling the scrum down. So it's going to be Eau Claire's ball. So far, only one of our Division II Final Four matches has been set. Vassar has won the Southern Regional earlier today after defeating Temple. We are still waiting on results, so the other matches are all ongoing, along with this one. penalty. Diving over. Hands on the ground by Eau Claire. Still no scores. Almost 20 minutes in. Deep kick into play by Cincinnati. Eau Claire looked a little unprepared for that. And the fullback for Eau Claire is taking it all the way across the field herself. Cincinnati committing another penalty. All right, it looks like we are going to have a scrum here to Eau Claire. Yep, penalty to Cincinnati. They are pushing before the ball is put in. So, after the cadence is called, crouch, bind, set. Each team comes together, but you're not allowed to drive until the ball is in play. And that's true for either team. So after they came together, Cincinnati is already pushing and driving forward, even though the ball isn't playable. So that is the penalty. Okay? So Eau Claire has decided to take their short arm penalty here out of the scrum. Play a little bit, but then a high pop kick to about midfield, fielded cleanly by Cincinnati. Tried to get it out, unlucky, not a great pass, dropped. So that's going to be a scrum down to Eau Claire at about midfield. If Cincinnati continues to commit scrum penalties, that could be a big problem for them today. Put in by Eau Claire. No penalties this time. Out to the 10. Pop kick over. Looking for the chase. Nice cover defense. She was able to recover the balance of the ball, but then she was taken out of bounds immediately by Eau Claire defender. So we are going to set up another line out here on the near side of the field. All right, so we're having a scrum reset. So when you lose the ball out of bounds, but it's going forward, you actually get a choice. So Eau Claire shows a scrum. Lineouts aren't really super successful today, but that was a nice cut in by Eau Claire center. We have some nice, good go forward happening from some Eau Claire forwards driving, but Cincinnati has not relented in their defense. Forcing a knock on here. We're going to have another scrum, still 0-0. From two teams who are used to scoring a lot of points in their games. Cincinnati all season in their own league has, I think their average point of margin is usually over 90. between in their own league. Their only loss of the season so far has come from playing against Division I Kent State, where they was 22-19. Kent State's even a Division I club in their own home state of Ohio. So they are used to scoring points, and Eau Claire is another one who, throughout the regular season, is not easily, but traditionally scoring 50, 60, 70 points a match. Up through these last few games, I suppose, as it gets harder towards the end of the year. But they had a pretty tough day against Fairfield, who really gave them a run for their money. Both of these teams did play yesterday, as a reminder. So they're all playing day 2 rugby, which is physically challenging as well as mentally and emotionally. So they all work very hard to get to this match. So you're going to see everyone putting in their last efforts here to try and punch a ticket to the national semifinal down in Houston on December 2nd and 3rd. Cincinnati looking to punch it out of their own end. Both of these teams just continue to turn the ball over one and over from each other, but lots of static. I don't want to say static. We seem to be stuck in the middle of the field because both teams are playing great defense, rucking and counter-rucking and poaching, penalties. Both teams playing great defense, lots of tackles, very physical, as you can see with every contact point. So Eau Claire is hoping to be the first one on the board, but they're going to have to work hard or find some space, because running into a Bearcat isn't working so far. Getting pretty close to the sideline here. Looking for go forward, but no missed tackles from Cincinnati. There's just nowhere to go. Another forced knock on, and Cincinnati will get another scrum looking to exit. If you're looking for more scores and more matchups from our regional weekend, don't forget to go to our website, ncr.rugby, where you can see the full playoff schedule on our website under our Women's Nationals competition page. You can also, of course, be following us on the social medias of Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, if you so desire. All of those things will be announcing updates for these matches and all of our upcoming events. These will be the last few games that are finishing now in all of our regions are all our Division II playoffs. And then if you are enjoying this, be sure to look for the streaming details. Our men's regional playoffs begin this upcoming weekend. Starting on the 17th through the 19th in 7 locations nationwide, everywhere from Boston to California. So you could, if you are interested in that, be sure to check out our men's national competition as well. If you're looking for those small college, Division II, D1 AA, and D1 men's playoff times. We had another scrum penalty, Cincinnati. Another kick not quite going to touch. Cincinnati played it and they kicked it out themselves. So we will have a line out here deep in Cincinnati territory, which has been kind of anybody's game here. Not very consistent play from either side of successfully putting in their own ball. So this is going to be an Eau Claire throw. And Eau Claire jumper misses it in the air, recovered by Cincinnati. Cincinnati able to pop kick over, not quite to touch. Eau Claire scrum half looked to play it too close to the sideline, touched her foot out of bounds, and now that's going to be a big possession play for Cincinnati. who will be able to set up their own line out here. But again, neither team very consistent on maintaining their own line out possession. Cincinnati call that a knock forward. So we're going to have another scrum, which has been plagued with penalties for Cincinnati. We are almost 30 minutes into this game and still no score from either team. No one can seem to get either of their plans going. Eau Claire, traditionally very structured in their attack, very formulaic in a way, and they have not had enough consecutive possession to get that attack going. And when they do, they're just getting absolutely hit with a nonstop defensive pressure and tackling by Cincinnati. Cincinnati yesterday had a lot of great play from a few individuals, particularly in their forward pack. They're 8, and they have some speedy wings here, like you can see here. But we're getting pushed out of bounds. We're getting tackled. These are two very evenly matched teams right now. Neither one of them able to figure out how to get through. We're going to have another line out on the far side of the field, close to the 10. We have a whistle penalty. Missed the call, missed the indicator of what the penalty was. So, looks like we'll have a Cincinnati throw in here. Eau Claire able to tip it back to their own team. Let's see, they're moving it out to centers, able to offload, but still just met with an absolute wall of red and black. Cincinnati is not giving up an inch to the Blue Golds. Nice strike through here by Eau Claire, finding a small gap to go forward. But that ball was poached by Cincinnati center. But Cincinnati being called back on a penalty. Ball carrier decides to take themselves right into contact. Cincinnati is just so disciplined in their defense. You can see them after every play really working to get back into position. Looks like nope. They almost were able to recover it. We'll have another knock on. And another scrum to Cincinnati. Claire shoving Cincinnati back a little bit, but Cincinnati still able to get the ball out cleanly. That's going to be knocked. And we're going to have another scrum. Both teams really struggling to connect. Their forwards are doing a lot of work in the set piece and some tight play, but backs are really feeling the pressure of each other, and we're not getting our hands up, and we're not getting in a good catch. We're going to have an 8-man pick. Cincinnati flanker right there. All right, we have another forward pass, and we are going to have another scrum here. We have less than 10 minutes to go. Still 0-0, which is really surprising for both of these teams and probably to their fans here and watching both teams. Both teams have pretty good support here in their fans, coming up from, being in the Ohio general-ish area and coming down from Wisconsin. There's a good bit of people here on the near sideline who are cheering on both teams. Loose ball, we have a Cincinnati diving on it, trying to maintain possession. Big run from the number 8. Been looking to see a little bit more of. Cut back in by the Cincinnati wing. Good defensive pressure from Eau Claire. Ball back in possession of Eau Claire, who's looking to kick it out, relieving some pressure. Did not find touch. Great cover defense, kick defense. Unable to get that ball carrier to ground, though. Now we're there, without letting up too much yards, meters, if you will. More tough contact on the short side. Pop kick over. Cincinnati not finding any ground to go forward. Here we are, under 5 minutes, getting a few score updates from some of our other regionals here, from some of our other D2 consolation matches. Bowling Green defeated Colorado Mines 27-25, and Coastal Carolina beat Syracuse 22-21. So these kind of close score lines are exactly the kind of things we're looking for here at regionals, here in the playoffs, to see really test each other's teams. So I will say, though, this 0-0 score is wild. I have actually, we can't end in a tie, but I was part of a game that was a 0, or I saw a game. I was not rostered in this game that ended in 0-0 in my playing career, and it was wild. It looked a lot like this. We're under 3 minutes here. 2 minutes about. Remember, the clock that you are watching right now is unofficial. Only there was center referee as the official time. Eau Claire looking to. It was a nicely fielded kick. And they're, again, working that attack structure that they play, trying to find any gap that they can. But Cincinnati is just not letting anything through. Oh. Luckily, even though the pass didn't connect, it looks like Eau Claire is still able to hold on to possession. Nice big run by an Eau Claire forward. Looking to move it a bit. There's a little bit of space out here. Oh, and finally somebody's going to break through. That's the fullback. That's number 15 for Eau Claire. Oh, that makes sense. All-American. Yeah, All-American. And last year's match MVP, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble if that's not right. I shouldn't have said that. But finally have points on the board at almost halftime. 5-0. Ow. Able to center it. That will be huge if Eau Claire can connect on this kick. I think it obviously every point in this game is going to be extremely valuable. So if they can get 7. All right, so that is a whistle for, we have a convert, so Eau Claire has 7, Cincinnati 0, but this is going to be a nail biter, you can tell. We are going into halftime here after the first 40 of an absolute grudge match between these two Midwest teams. We're going to take a quick break for halftime, so tune back in because this one's going to be fun to the end, I think. Currently, Blue Gold's on top with 7, and the Cincinnati Bearcats have 0. right, welcome back here. We're kicking off the second half of the Midwest Regional Division II Championship. My name's Angela Smarto, and I am the Women's Director of National Collegiate Rugby. And once a year, I am allowed to commentate a game. So here we are in the beautiful Elkhart, Indiana, here at the Rugby Moose Grounds. We have University of Wisconsin Eau Claire, the defending Division II national champions, ahead by just 7 against the University of Cincinnati Bearcats with no points on the board. If you're just tuning in now, the game was 0-0 until the last play of the first half when Eau Claire was finally able to dot one down in the center, so they were able to get a try and a conversion, which was huge for them, putting them ahead 7-0. But it has been an absolute grudge match here today for the final match here of the Division II regionals here. Eau Claire is in all blue, and they're on the left side of your screen. And Cincinnati is wearing black and red, and they're on the right side of your screen. We're going to have a scrum to Eau Claire now. With a big run from the number 8 of Eau Claire. But an immediate penalty. That's been a little bit of the story of the day here for both teams. Struggling to get any sort of offensive momentum going due to penalties, going out of bounds and things like that. So decent big kick for touch for Cincinnati. So we're going to have to set up a line out here. Cincinnati is looking to keep this ball moving forward here. They do have some speed in their back line, but all attacking turned over by Eau Claire. If we can get it out. Oh, but immediately, how unlucky. Great work for the blue gold forwards who had a great effort there to counter ruck and steal that ball. But then when they turned it over, their teammates weren't ready and they knocked it on. So the ball is going to go back to Cincinnati. And scrum to red. Able to get the offload. Cincinnati's looking for a little bit of space out there, but Eau Claire is moving to cover this space because now they know they are less than 40 minutes away from defending their national championship, and they do not want to go home early. Looks like turning a little bit of speed here, number 14. Oh, and she's gonna find the try zone in very similar fashion to how Eau Claire scored. So that is number 14 for Cincinnati. That is Paige Huggins. Dotting down the first points. We are now at 7-5. Here in the second half. All right, and that's through. Cincinnati has tied it up here. And we're now at 7-7. We are looking to kick off here. We're about 10 minutes into the first half here. Eau Claire doing a great job holding their defensive wall, and they're slowly pushing back Cincinnati, so Cincinnati decided to take a kick. Great effort by our number 4, or one of our referees for the weekend. We're going to have another line out here by Eau Claire, who should be looking to answer and get back into the lead. With such few scores, you don't want to be the team that gets behind, especially giving up 2 points in a row would be a big hold, I think, to get out of momentum-wise for Eau Claire. Put in, but by Cincinnati, but Eau Claire is pushing back with a lot of pressure. Oh, scrum half pursued, which was unable to complete that tackle. We have a whistle for forward pass by Cincinnati. So we're we're going to have another scrum down to Eau Claire. Now as both teams, you can see both teams have to find the energy to keep attacking, because now teams are finally starting to get a little bit tired. So now if there's going to be breaks in the defensive wall, it's going to be now. It's going to be starting here in this late quarter of the match. Almost a huge risky play. Blue Gold's unable to connect in their back line. Cincinnati had a ton of pressure on, almost able to kick it through. But great recovery play by Eau Claire. Now a big carry forward. Oh, but it was stripped in contact, it looks like, by Cincinnati. And now Cincinnati's back on the front foot. All right, Cincinnati moving back, looking for the attack here. Trying to find the last space out wide. Unable to, but they're very, very close for another score, to another score here. Penalty in the ruck for Eau Claire. Cincinnati's going to go for points. All right, if you are watching at home and you're not sure what's about to happen, this is effectively a field goal. We call it kicking for points. So at a penalty at any time, penalties have to restart from a kick. And if you're in a position where you think you can kick it through the uprights, you're allowed to give it a go. So it looks like the number 9 for Cincinnati will be taking this, I think. Yep, the number 9 for Cincinnati. Chloe Rajbandari. And if she makes it, it'll go for 3. And that's through. Excellent decision by the Bearcats. So that's going to put them up here with about 20 minutes to go. That's going to give them 10. Eau Claire still at 7. This is the first time Eau Claire has trailed a game in 15s in, I don't know, maybe 2 years. This is definitely going to be a new experience for Eau Claire. Let's see how they respond to this.
Olive, I love you. You're going to do great.
Nice field by Cincinnati. As we tick over into the 60th minute mark here. Diving over. Consistent penalty here for Eau Claire. Now, Cincinnati hoping to take control of the pace of this game. You might see them starting to slow down a little bit in situations like that. You know, take that extra few seconds trying to eat this clock away, because they're now only 20 minutes away from heading to a Division II Final Four. Cincinnati has been to the Final Fours before. Cincinnati tackled out of bounds. So we're going to have another line out to Eau Claire. They just lost this previous one. Let's see if they can maintain possession. It's going to be really important as the clock starts to wind down. Cincinnati with space on the outside. All the way to the very edge. You can see Eau Claire really trying to pop up the ground. They know that time is not on their side and that they have to make something happen here now, but not lose their cool. So let's see if they're sticking to their game plan. Huge break for some go forward. Sticking into forward, keeping it tight. Going with another forward punch again. Great tackle there. Cincinnati kind of wildly a little bit out of control on that counter ruck, but unsuccessfully. Cincinnati, or Eau Claire, pretty much for the first time all day, actually making a little bit of go forward. And there's a little bit of space for the number 13, but we have a penalty of offsides by Cincinnati, so they'll be back 10. And Eau Claire getting set up for their penalty play. Oh, what an unlucky mistake. The forward pod looking to start with a kick to themselves to crash it, and she accidentally knocked that ball forward. So all momentum lost there, unless Cincinnati or unless Eau Claire can turn something else on here. We're down to probably about 15 minutes or so left in this game. Eau Claire is pushing back their Cincinnati scrum. Ball lost in contact by the Bearcats. But recovered by Eau Claire. If they had advantage, they've now kicked away their advantage. We have a chase to the ball. Somebody, yep, is going to get called for playing on the ground. So valiant effort by Eau Claire to go chase that down, but as soon as you're off your feet, you can't play. So while the other player was trying to release and you're kind of having that tug of war on the ground, you're not allowed to do that because neither one of you are allowed to play the ball while you're on the ground. So Cincinnati's going to start with a crash ball off the penalty, still in the lead over defending two national champions Eau Claire. But Cincinnati, very scrappy all weekend, very physical. And they're just not taking their foot off the pedal at all. Like I've said, in their history, they have advanced to National Final Four before, in the 20 teens and such. They've been there, but have not been there for National Collegiate Rugby. So that would be a first for their program. And if they can hang on for about 13 more minutes, it will not be easy. We do have a final score from our East Midwest Championship, is that Coast Guard has defeated Roger Williams, and they will advance to the Final Four. So congratulations to Coast Guard, who will take on Vassar in their first round, and the winner of this game will play the winner of University of Illinois and Louisiana State. University of Illinois is currently up by one score, a very tight game out there, much like this game is here. We have a turnover ball right at the 22 for Eau Claire. Little bit of break in the line here from the Eau Claire forwards. They are excited, but they need to take care of the ball more importantly than anything. We've got one Cincinnati player who's a little slow to get up, but that looks like they're okay. Claire is moving it to the outside, but they have been unable to go forward at all. Cincinnati is just everywhere making tackles. And not just everywhere, everyone. Every single player on this team can tackle, and that's what's making it so difficult for the Blue Golds to get through anywhere, because they are just everywhere. Another take by Eau Claire, still hanging out around the 22, not able to get much further. The scrum half pick off the back. Number 8 is going to dish it out. but another drop ball. So we have some subs coming in. And once our subs are all in and out, we are going to have a scrum here to Cincinnati. We are under 10 minutes to go. Cincinnati leading 10-7 after they kicked for points here. And their score, all the scoring in the first half was Eau Claire. All the scoring in the second half has been Cincinnati. We have another penalty here. Time is winding down. Head referee Caroline Walters is going into her pocket, and we're going to get a yellow card for Eau Claire. That's number 7. Julia Bancroft is going to be out for the rest of the game. That is going to be a huge... That is going to be absolutely huge here for the Blue Golds. So now the drama with about... Oh, wait, no, that wasn't number... Nope, because I see number 7 on the field. I apologize. The other player ran off the field, and now I missed who that was. So I apologize for miscalling that. But we do have a yellow card here for Eau Claire, which means they will play the rest of the game one player down. I appreciate any grace you can give me while I'm doing this, because this is the 3rd game I've called in a row, and my eyes are a little bit crossed. Shout out to John Brokop. How do you do this all the time? And the rest of our regular commentary team. Number 12 was the player who was carded. Thanks, I got a confirmation. Emma Hamilton. We're at about 5 minutes to go here. Defending D2 champs are behind. And they are looking for anything to keep them alive in their hunt to defend their national title. We're going to have another scrum here to Cincinnati as Eau Claire knocks it on after their line out. The winner of this game will play against the winner of Louisiana State and the University of Illinois. Cincinnati seems to be getting sharper as the game goes on. They started out with a lot of drop balls, but they've really corrected that. And that's something that Eau Claire has still struggled with their consistency. And Cincinnati's just they've been able to really clean up their play. And put together quite a defensive effort to hang on here. Cincinnati fans are really both fans are really starting to get into it as we're approaching in the final minutes here of this game. It is still 10-7 here in Elkhart. We are just under 2 minutes to go, and if the way things keep going the way they are, we're going to have a new Division II national champion this year, because the University of Cincinnati, who people think are good, but because they don't get to play a lot of games in the regular season that are challenging, it's difficult to really gauge how good they are. And I think coming into this weekend, they've been underrated. Because they play very physical rugby, and that has just been jarring to the defending champs, Eau Claire. And that tenacity was able to keep the Blue Goals contained. They both have only scored one try, but the smart decision by Cincinnati in the second half to go for points gave them those extra 3. Now we have the Cincinnati number 8 barreling through the center. It looks like the Bearcats are going for another attack here.
There you go, you got it. You got it.
We'll have a penalty on Cincinnati for not releasing. We're in the final minutes of play here. Eau Claire coming up big in the center. They have to hold on to possession cleanly here. Cincinnati giving up a penalty, keeping the ball in Eau Claire's hands. This time taking the penalty kick off the ground to hopefully avoid a knock. This seems to have the last charge here by Eau Claire, but Cincinnati was able to get in the way of that ball. And we have over the 80th minute here. It must be close. Huge hit in the backfield. That was a penalty called. We're going to have another possession. This must be last play. Another big run by Eau Claire. It was knocked forward in contact. Not the last play of the game. Here we have another scrum. This is going to be a scrum penalty to Eau Claire. Number 9 takes it. She runs into touch, but we can't end the game here. So that's going to give Eau Claire the ball back. The drama is building. It's not over. Oh, Cincinnati steals it in the air, and they're going to play it out. Cincinnati, what a clean, crisp pass line going all the way through. Great tackle here by Eau Claire. No one is there to get the ball. A little late there for the scrum half. A lot of shouting from the sidelines. Cincinnati still playing it out. Eau Claire still fighting for possession. We have a Cincinnati playing on the ground. And again, we cannot end on a penalty here, folks. So we're going again. Eau Claire, this is your last chance. Calling advantage. Huge tackles here by Cincinnati. Defending with everything they have left. Eau Claire trying to attack on the far side. Looking for space. Cincinnati looking for one more counter ruck. Going back to advantage. Being called back to the advantage. Eau Claire has another chance here from a high tackle penalty. Picked up. Struggling to get this ball out. Forward pick and go. Another forward pick and go off the base. Another pick and go. Eau Claire is knocking on the door. Referee is signaling for advantage again. Cincinnati with another penalty. But Eau Claire sees green. Oh my goodness. They did it. They did it. Eau Claire scored in the final minutes. Oh my goodness. I can honestly freaking out right now. I cannot believe they did it. The defending national champions into overage time with penalty after penalty. Absolutely incredible finish. Absolutely incredible. In the 80th plus minute, Eau Claire scores and takes the lead. Oh my goodness. And that's it. They're not going to go for the kick because it doesn't matter. Last play of the game, Eau Claire gets to go back to nationals to defend their title after an absolute brutal game. Heartbreaker for Cincinnati to lose like that. Wow, that was incredible. My name is Angela Smarto. Thank you. If you tuned in with me, I appreciate it. But I'm going to go hand out trophies and give them all a bunch of hugs because what an absolute game that was. Eau Claire will be advancing to defend their title at the National Championship in Houston on December 2nd and 3rd. And, wow, just what an incredible game. Congratulations to the Blue Gold, and congratulations to the Bearcats for a heck of a game and a heck of a season. I am tuning off, and I'll see you guys down in Houston.
Just a few minutes. Thank you.